Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Mary Martin Booker.
And I'm Sydney McGee.
We are starting tonight with breaking news. In Georgia, a school shooter's father has been convicted of murder.
That's right. Colin Gray, the father of Colt Gray, was found guilty of murder and manslaughter by a Georgia jury today. The jury deliberated for just 2 hours.
In September of 2024, Colt Gray killed 2 students, 2 teachers, and wounded 9 others using an AR-15 rifle that his father gifted to him.
The prosecutors in this case argued that Colt's father, Colin, bought his son this gun even though he was aware of his mental instability.
The case is part of a broader push across the country to hold more people accountable for school shootings, and in this case in particular, it is the shooter's father.
Yes, Mary Martin, Colin Gray has been sentenced up to 30 years in prison for each charge and up to 10 subsequent years on each manslaughter charge. His son has pleaded not guilty to 55 felony counts. A trial for Colt Gray, the shooter, has not been set yet.
On a lighter note, today has been a very pretty day. I am loving these warmer temperatures.
Me too, and there's such a nice breeze outside. I love that walking over here, the Bishop.
Yes, me too. Let's take a look outside with our weather anchor, Erica Fontana. Erica?
Thanks, guys. Right now in Oxford, it is 77 degrees and sunny. The winds are at about 10 miles per hour, so it's not feeling much cooler than that. Tonight, it will dip down just a little bit, but I'll have that for you later in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Erica. It's no secret Oxford is growing fast and new developments are being planned and approved for the Oxford Commons area.
Sullivan's grocery store, which was originally set to be built on Highway 30, is now going to be built off of Ed Perry Boulevard.
Dutch Bros, the popular drive-through spot, is expected to break ground this spring next to Chipotle on Sisk Avenue.
Whataburger, with its classic white and orange stripes, will be breaking ground this summer on Sisk Avenue as well.
And Aplo's, which is a popular Mediterranean restaurant in the Jackson metro area, is expected to open in June within the Pearl development, which is a part of Oxford Commons.
Now, finding a job as a student in Oxford has proven to be somewhat difficult. NewsWatch reporter Caitlin Salas has talked to local businesses and leaders to see why that may be. Let's take a look.
Many businesses, but so little jobs. College students are struggling to find a job here in Oxford in the past few months.
We're a small town, at its core. And so when you look at a small town and the amount of jobs that there are available, we have about as many students as we do the population of Oxford outside of our students.
While some business owners look for the right fit, it is also difficult for them to hire many students at once while everyone is looking for a job at the same time. Haley Kelly, owner of H Squared Boutique in Oxford, explains the struggles of hiring students, stating, quote, they would reach out. They'll call the store or come by via Instagram. In my email, I probably have over 200 resumes of potential employees right now. She adds, quote, I probably receive between 2 to 5 resumes a day in my email. That's how many people need jobs here. Different businesses have different circumstances, but overall, some students work hard to find their perfect job, yet don't feel the success. Some students even don't hear back from employers or hear back at unexpected times due to many students submitting applications. Here in Oxford, I'm Caitlin Salas, and you're watching NewsWatch Ole Miss.
This year's Harry Truman Scholarship Award has announced its finalists for the 2026 University of Mississippi Public Policy Leadership and Economics major. Amanita Baugh is in the final running for the $30,000 scholarship. This year, there are 198 finalists from over 130 institutions, Baugh being one of the 2 students from a Mississippi school. Baugh says she quote, really resonates with the Truman Foundation's emphasis on public service and leadership. It has been my life trajectory to ensure that others in my community and around the world are taken care of. If Baugh is named the winner, she plans to put the award towards pursuing her Juris Doctorate, specifically to pursue her passion for voting rights in the South. The 2026 winner will be announced on April 24th. We are cheering you on, Amanita. Good luck.
University of Mississippi students, listen up closely. The deadline is approaching to nominate an Ole Miss professor for outstanding teaching. The LCM Hood Outstanding Teacher Award is sponsored by the family of LCM Hood, the Alumni Association, and the Chancellor's Office, and it aims to recognize a professor for their exceptional teaching. The winner will receive $10,000 in prize money and a plaque honoring this accomplishment. Students can now nominate professors through My Ole Miss or by sending it to Chancellor Glenn Boyce at chancellor.olemiss.edu. Nominations are due on March 7th.
Well, Erica, I'm ready for spring break
Me
next
too.
week, and it totally feels like it outside.
Yes, such nice weather today. High 70s, sunny, a little bit windy here and there, but wasn't feeling too much warmer than our high 70s. But I'll have more for you on our current conditions after the break.
You told me not to talk to strangers. You told me not to cross the street without looking both ways.
You told me not to touch the stove. You told me not to do drugs.
You told me not to drink and drive.
You gave me so many messages about how to stay safe. Why didn't you keep me safe by properly storing your gun?
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next. We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot?
Helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Learn to cough and sneeze with your pal Grover. Step 1. Realize you're about to sneeze. Step 2. Move your elbow toward your nose and mouth. Step 3. Gesundheit. 1, 2, 3. Remember to cough and sneeze into your arm or elbow and not your hands.
Right! Go! Bro, but you're not even gonna do anything! Yes, I was! Yes, no!
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. Like I was saying before, 77 degrees today, mostly sunny. We did have a little bit of a wind gust, 10 miles per hour. That's still going on, but it's not feeling much cooler than the 77. Humidity is at 39%, but the wind is kind of counteracting with that. And today's temperatures around the states, Corinth, Holly Springs, and Oxford all at a whopping 77 for the northern Mississippi high. Tupelo, as we could see, at 75, and then South Haven is at 70. A little bit chillier, but not too bad. And tonight's forecast, it is going to be 60 degrees with increasing clouds. We had a little bit of cloud coverage this morning and then was sunny this afternoon. Looking to get back into those clouds tonight. South winds about 5 miles per hour, so it won't be feeling much cooler than the 60 we are feeling outside. And tomorrow's forecast, 79 degrees. I can't believe it's basically 80 degrees here in Oxford before spring break. What a great way to start our spring break at. Partly sunny tomorrow, so a little bit of a cloud coverage with south-southwest winds from 5 to 10 miles per hour. So it shouldn't be too bad. A little bit of an overcast day, but no rain, which is always a plus. And tomorrow's temperatures around the state, 79 everywhere in northern Mississippi, except Tupelo at 80, so not much of a difference. But great to see that we are finally heading into those warmer temperatures. And with spring break coming up, I thought I would give you a sneak peek into some of Ole Miss's students' top spring break locations and their temperatures for the first Saturday of spring break. Punta Cana and Fort Lauderdale, 70 and 80. Gulf Shores, a little bit chilly at 72. If you're heading to the Bahamas, it'll be 76 degrees. That's where I'll be going, so I'm very excited. And Destin, the same as Gulf Shores at 72 degrees. And then for our 5-day forecast tomorrow, we are looking at 79 degrees and sunny. As I mentioned earlier, Thursday 81 and sunny, so not too much of a difference from Wednesday. And then on Friday, we are looking at 84 degrees, and it will be rainy in the evening, so don't worry about during the day. Will be rainy at the evening with 64 degrees. Then we are heading into a rainy weekend, but hopefully you will not be in Oxford for this rain. High and low 70s with a lot of rain coming, but hopefully you are going away to a nice vacation.
Yes, I have been loving this nice weather, and it's been really great to get out, support some sports teams. So, Haley, tell us about what's going on in sports.
Well, Mary Martin, when we get back from this very short break, we are going to be hitting the field and talking some major accolades. We'll be right back.
There's an epidemic spreading. Scientists say it can change your brain. It can release dangerous chemicals like formaldehyde into your bloodstream. It can expose your lungs to acrolein, which can cause irreversible damage. It's not a parasite, not a virus, not an infection. It's vaping.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Each year, hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
Welcome back to NewsWatch. I am Haley Hood with Sports Watch. Cody McMahon has been named the 2026 SEC Newcomer of the Year and a first-team All-SEC selection, and what a season she has had. This marks her third straight year earning first-team All-Conference honors after doing it twice in the Big Ten. And now she is the very first Rebel ever to win SEC Newcomer of the Year. McMahon has been electric, averaging 21 points in SEC play, which is the second best in the league. She scored 20 or more points in 17 games, passed 600 points on the season, and picked up 3 SEC Player of the Week honors. She's been the heart, the highlight, and the headline for Ole Miss women's basketball this year. Softball hosted this weekend and finished Sunday with ULM. Billy Cool has the story.
It was Ole Miss Classic weekend where Ole Miss softball hosted the Jacksonville State Gamecocks and ULM Warhawks. Ole Miss wrapped up their weekend on Sunday against the Warhawks for a quick matchup as the game lasted just 1 hour and 45 minutes, largely in help to the limited hitters per inning. While the Rebels put up 5 runs, their time at the plate played a factor in the short game duration. However, it was not all gloom for Ole Miss as they struck early in the bottom of the second as Taylor Malvin singled in the game's first run. 2 innings later, the Rebels blew open the scoreboard as Mackenzie Pickens collected her 6th home run of the season with a grand slam, giving Ole Miss a then 5-0 lead. Rebel starter Emily Boyer pitched a complete game for the Rebels, allowing just 3 hits and striking out 8 batters. Boyer held the Warhawks hitless until Holly Thomas broke up the no-hit bid with a single through the left side of the infield. Thomas kept Boyer on her toes just 2 innings later in the 7th, taking her deep off the scoreboard for a solo home run. Ole Miss softball returned to the Diamond and defeated the ULM Warhawks 5-1 on Sunday afternoon to complete a 4-0 weekend at the Ole Miss Classic, advancing to 16-5 on the season. I'm Billy Huell with NewsWatch.
Thank you, Billy, and don't forget the Ole Miss softball team continues their home swing, hosting UT Martin for a doubleheader tonight. Ole Miss baseball returns back home to Swayze Field this week, hosting Memphis tonight and North Alabama tomorrow, in a double midweek action at Swayze Field with the first pitch set for 6:30 both nights. Last week in Houston, the pitching staff was absolutely electric, striking out 48 batters on the weekend, including 20 in just 10 innings against Baylor. Kane Townsend and Taylor Rabe combined for a 6-hit shutout of Ohio State, striking out 16 batters. Offensively, Dom Decker is making noise with 3 homers, and Tristan Becerra has been on fire, hitting .444 with 5 homers and 19 RBIs to start the season. Judd Uttermark continues to climb the all-time home run list, now with 35 career homers. Ole Miss is ready to take control of their home field tonight. And the 13th ranked Ole Miss men's golf team sits in 5th place after 36 holes at the Cabo Collegiate. The Rebels came in strong at 3 under 281 in Monday's second round and now sit 5 under for the tournament. They are currently one of just 6 teams on the course still in the red numbers. Tom Fisher led the way again, shooting a 3 under 68 and closing with birdies on 3 of his final 6 holes. He's tied for 6th at 5th under overall. Cameron Takersley finished 1 under 70, while Cohen Trolio posted his 2nd straight even par round, which has them both sitting even for the week. Daniel Toff battled back with 1 over 72, and Collins Trolio finished with 2 over 73. The final round of action began this morning, so stay tuned tomorrow to see how the Rebels finished off. And Jess McClain was less than 2 miles away from her national title, and then everything went south. She had a promising lead at the U.S. Half Marathon Championship in Atlanta on Sunday when the lead bike took a wrong turn, pulling her and 2 other runners about 400 meters off the course, and just like that, her championship moment flashed right before her eyes. McClain, Emma Grace Hurley, and Edna Kurgat had to fight their way back onto the course, adding distance and watching the rest of the competition fly by. McClain finished in 9th, and Hurley and Kurgat crossed the finish line at 12th and 13th. Atlanta Track Club CEO Rich Kenna took full responsibility, saying, quote, athletes should never have to make a split decision between following a pace vehicle or trusting the official source. Molly Bourne, who had been more than a minute off of McClain's pace, won the title and the $20,000 prize. USA Track and Field denied protests and appeals that were filed after the race. That's all I have for sports for today. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Haley. Coming up next, we're breaking down everything you need to know about national news.
NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back.
I
got you.
Oh.
Yeah, I got him.
That stupid controller froze again.
You're only saying that because you're losing.
Bet you bought the cheap one.
My controller is junk too. Is this even real?
You're spending less, so...
Yeah? We'll just buy it again?
Smart kids.
Who are you?
Or what are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you guys wanted any... OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog. He's an imposter. He's a fake.
Oh. I am McGruff, the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. And that, Pops...
could blow up in your face.
That's right, Scruff. Let's take a bite out of crime together and protect ourselves against fakes. Like him, who says you're not the fake.
Dude, you're literally missing an arm.
You are smart kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Out there, radar land, you're listening to this station in the city.
I'm really tight with my friends.
We do everything together. And whatever happens, they look out for me.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. Oxford carries a great deal of history. In an effort to make people aware of the past, reporter Elisa Booker tells us about the University of Mississippi's slavery tours.
With everything offered here on campus, you might be surprised that there is something that can take you back in time.
A lot of people can look at historical moments and not see themselves in them. But what's important is that when we look at the sites that we're occupying, the spaces that we're occupying, we understand the overall narrative, the overall history there, whether it's painful, whether it's joyful. It's important to see all the history, at least all the information, all the context, so we really fully understand the spaces that we occupy.
The University of Mississippi offers campus slavery tours to give students and visitors a guide of the school's history. The tours began in 2019 as a part of the Slavery Research Group's initiative to give tour goers an easily digestible format of the research here on campus. On the tour, guests receive the opportunity to learn about the Lyceum, Barnard Observatory, the Croft Institute for International Studies, see plaques dedicated to enslaved laborers, Ventures Hall, and more. Professor Don Guillory, who leads the tours, explains what he wants guests to take away from their experience.
Understanding the narrative that exists in this place, but also understanding how your narrative fits into that story, into its history. There's a lot to learn because there's a lot of information, and now that we have access to it, we should definitely take full advantage of any opportunity that exists.
The campus slavery tours provide a reflection of the University of Mississippi while looking towards a brighter tomorrow. This has been Elisa Booker with NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Moving into national news, as of today, drivers are seeing the biggest jump in gas prices since Hurricane Katrina in 2005. The national average was about 11 cents higher on Tuesday, making the average prices $3.11 a gallon, according to AAA. The price jump takes off after the U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran, as well as the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, which is a key global oil route. Iran has begun attacks on oil infrastructure in several oil-rig U.S. allied regions. Now let's hand things over to Mary Martin for more national news.
The war in Iran may be difficult to understand for those who are not constantly keeping up with politics like we are here at the studio, so let's break it down. First of all, the United States has not formally declared war on Iran, as this would require action through Congress. However, because strikes have been launched against both parties, it is escalating quickly. The relationship between Iran and the U.S. has been tense for quite a while, and on Saturday, this build-up to conflict finally snapped. On Saturday, the U.S. launched Operation Epic Fury, which consisted of coordinated large strikes that targeted Iran's military sites. During this wave of strikes, Iran's leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was killed. According to the U.S., they attacked because Iran's nuclear program was an imminent threat. In response, Iran launched attacks on both U.S. and Israeli targets, including counties in the Gulf that are the homes of U.S. military bases like Qatar, which you can see now on your screen. Qatar has condemned the Iranian strikes, calling them, quote, unacceptable escalation. The U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia was also attacked, and this conflict isn't just being fought with physical strikes. Cyber attacks have also been launched on Iran's network. The State Department has advised U.S. citizens in over a dozen countries in the Middle East to leave immediately. And today, pop star Kesha slammed the White House on social media after they used her music without her permission. The White House posted a video in February featuring a military fighter jet shooting at a missile at a naval ship with her early 2000s hit song Below. In a social media post, Kesha said that she does not approve of her music being used to promote violence and to make light of war. She called the video disgusting and inhumane. A White House communications official responded to her post, saying that criticism only boosts view counts. This concludes our national news update. Back to you at the desk, Sydney.
Thank you, Mary Martin. On a lighter note, after this break, we are bringing things back to Oxford. Stay tuned for more from NewsWatch.
Uh-oh, young Tommy is smoking a cigarette, creating his own smog cloud. Tommy's up to bat. Tommy smokes because he thinks it makes him look grown up. But watch what smoking does for him. That coughing is one thing. It keeps him from playing his best. You're out! Don't smoke. It doesn't make you grown up. It makes you a loser.
Everybody clunks. But not enough people click. And no matter how good they are at handling their cars, or how well they know the road, everybody's equally likely to get involved in an accident. And without a seatbelt, you're twice as likely to be killed or seriously injured. So don't just be a clunker. Clunk, click.
Find out how to use an awkward silence to help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. Today we're joined by our entertainment anchor, Taya Matthias. Taya, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, you may know me as Taya Tries, but tonight I need your guys' help on what iconic Oxford thing I should try next. We're going to play a little game of this or that. Okay, so first, Oxford Creamery or Yaya's?
Yayas. I think I like the creamery lately.
See, I've never had Oxford Creamery before.
A lot of unique flavors. I got the Big Fat Greek Wedding. Really good.
Ooh, I am the biggest Yaya stan, but in the colder months, the hot drinking chocolate at Oxford Creamery is divine.
I'll have to try it. Or next, Shadrack's or Cafecitos?
Cafecitos.
I'd have to say Cafecitos as well.
I've heard so many great things about the community there as well. So
And the Instagram.
Yeah,
Pablo and Shad.
And last, do you like to buy your Ole Miss gear at Rebel Rags or College Station?
Rebel Rags for me.
Definitely. Rebel Rags.
I haven't tried either, but I'll see what Taya says and maybe try it out.
You'll have to listen to me. Well, you'll have to stay tuned and see what I'm trying next week on Taya Tries.
Thanks so much, Taya. Keeping the ball rolling on new things to try, Starbucks just launched their spring menu today.
The spring menu has chai, ube, lavender, and coconut flavored drinks, and an old favorite is returning, the iced lavender cream matcha.
Later on in the season, Starbucks will launch its new iced mango cream matcha. For all the details on these new drinks, head to the Starbucks official website.
I really wish I was a big matcha fan because I feel like everyone loves it and it looks really pretty, but I just have never been able to get behind it.
I'm not a fan myself.
I don't think I'll be trying the new ones. I don't know. I like my tried and true coffee.
Well, that's all we have for tonight. I am Haley Hood with Sports Watch.
I'm Mary Martin Booker with NewsWatch.
I'm Erica Fontana with Stormwatch.
And I'm Taya Matthias with Entertainment.
Thank you for watching NewsWatch Ole Miss, where we keep it live and keep it local. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. and have a wonderful spring break.